It is time to rise and shine. It is 6 o'clock for most of the Caribbean islands. Good morning. It is THG News today. It's 5 a.m. on the East Coast. And where I am at, it is 4 o'clock in the morning. Right. In Texas, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It is THG News today. I am Mervyn Henley. Of course, last night was Valentine's Day. And I know a number of you have a hangover this morning. You did all sorts. And November will tell on you. Let me see. February to November. I think that's 9 months. November will tell on some of you. Let us get to the news. Of course, the news is brought to you with the kind of compliments. Carl & Sons on St. Maarten. Let me say good morning to the beautiful island of St. Maarten. The folks there, they are always logged on to THG News today. We will be right back. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Maarten for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are 2 locations, Coal Bay and on the Pontville. In Coal Bay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Pontville, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Coal Bay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. And this morning we begin our news out of the Bahamas. Concerned that the chain of islands tourist industry could suffer, Prime Minister Philip Davis is pushing local media to keep crime off the front pages. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas now wants crime off the front pages. And I have something to say about that. But anyway, let's continue for now. The U.S. Embassy issued a security notice on criminality in the Bahamas, and foreign reporting has emphasized it. Davis said the administration is planning an intensive campaign to promote and safeguard the country's reputation. See how the advisory from yesterday has taken wings? We're hearing some worries about the fall-off in tourism. Davis addressed religious leaders on Monday about his administration's crime mitigation initiatives. The hotels are witnessing some fall-off, but more significantly, those at the hotels aren't going out. Not to restaurants, for instance. They don't tour as much, he remarked. Naturally, hotel owners are unconcerned as long as guests stay and spend money there. We again shoot ourselves in the foot by letting this get out of hand. Mind you, this is the Prime Minister talking about keeping crime off the front pages, okay? Remember that. I'm coming to him in a second. What is happening in this country is not unique. Within 3.5 weeks, Jamaica had almost 70 homicides. So you see what he's doing? This CARICOM member, this member of CARICOM, this leader of the Bahamas, he's trying to save his ass. So what he's doing now is to throw his Caribbean community neighbors, such as Jamaica, under the bus. Imagine that. Imagine you want to cover you, but you're going to damage someone else. So he spoke of 70 homicides in Jamaica thus far. He said Trinidad, over 100 homicides. Police in the Bahamas have reported 25 homicides this year, many of them gang-related. Davis advised the press to realize their responsibility in maintaining the country's reputation, noting that other countries downplay certain crimes. Please be sensitive, press. I think they should help the nation. Reporting is fine, but where you report may matter. Oh, I can't wait to finish this press release. Just check where their crime report is. Just check Trinidad and the US to see where it is. Never on the first page, but every bullet fired appears on all of our daily news front pages. The Associated Press reported, and it continues. Prime Minister Davis stated. He stated that the long-awaited anti-gang law will be released next week. Now, I need someone to send this commentary to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, because he is the biggest hypocrite ever. Talk about hypocrisy. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you do not know, let me share some information with you, because I am a student of, I would say, politics and some governance, and I've been following almost every Caribbean island and their politics and how they govern their country. For years, for half of my young life, I've been doing that. So when it comes to Prime Minister Davies, when he was in opposition, I used to follow him, right? And this is a man, while in opposition, you know what he did? Because Bahamas faced a couple of years back the same upsurge in crime that they're facing now. But do you know what this Prime Minister did when he was in opposition? He not only went on the radio to speak about crime, he not only went on television to speak about crime. This Prime Minister, his party, they actually erected billboards all across the Bahamas, with the figures for crime. And speaking of the upsurge in crime, stating that the government needs to go because, look, crime is at an all-time high. You drove around Bahamas then, and every corner was a billboard by this now Prime Minister. No, he's in the kitchen, and he's bawling for the heat. But he is the same one. What goes around, huh? What goes around? The man erected billboards all across Bahamas, showing the figures of crime and looking at the percentage and all of that. He won the election because of the upsurge in crime in the Bahamas. And you know, when the media spoke to him at the press conference and said, but Mr. Prime Minister, when you were in opposition, this is what you did. You know what the man turned and said to them? The past is the past. The past is the past. Hypocrite. Send this YouTube link to him, please. Now we move to St. Kitts and Nevis. In a crucial reminder issued during the Prime Minister's press conference on February 13th, the Attorney General, the Honorable Garth Wilkin, and the Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs emphasized the importance of the next filing date of April 30th, 2024 for the declaration of assets, liabilities, and income by public officials. The Attorney General said that by this date, officials are required to declare their assets and liabilities as of December 31st, 2023, along with their income throughout the year 2023. This declaration is a critical component of the government's efforts to maintain high standards of integrity and public trust in the administration of public affairs. The Attorney General said that the call for timely compliance underscores the commitment of St. Kitts and Nevis to uphold the principles of integrity, transparency, and accountability in public life. It serves as a reminder to all public officials of their obligations under the law and their role in fostering a culture of good governance for the benefit and well-being of all citizens. Under the initiative to bolster the Integrity in Public Life Commission, Attorney General Wilkin announced that the office, which boasts a 99% compliance rate, is fully operational and ready to enforce the principles of transparency and accountability within the public sector. Highlighting the progress made in ensuring good governance, AG Wilkin stated, good governance is no longer just about talk. It is now in action. Public officials are urged to adhere to the April 30th, 2024 deadline to ensure the continued success of the Integrity in Public Life Commission's efforts to promote ethical conduct and integrity in the governance of St. Kitts and Nevis. Great, good stuff there, Honorable Attorney General. And I think thus far, I'd say that you are one of the ministers who are doing a pretty good job. However, Mr. Honorable Attorney General, you have this Integrity Commission on St. Kitts that's supposed to, I want to think, govern St. Kitts and Nevis. But you also have a separate ordinance or Integrity Commission on Nevis. So that is, you guys, the federal government and the Nevis Island administration, you're not on the same page. And I believe there should be just one umbrella. But here we have in Nevis, and then we have St. Kitts and Nevis, and then you'll hear, oh, this doesn't apply to those in Nevis, and that doesn't apply to Nevis. Attorney General, you're doing a great job. You are really, but I wish that we can have some clear understanding, or at least everything falling under one umbrella. And while you're at it, while you are at it, I am hoping that very soon we'll hear more about any improvements or any information regarding the electoral office. This is something that when the Labour Party was in opposition, one of the main things they campaigned on was the electoral office. And there's been some quietness, some silence, but I'm hoping that work has been done to ensure the same integrity that you spoke about at the press conference and public trust in the administration of public affairs, that we can have the same when it comes to the electoral office. Now let's continue. News out of St. Maarten. They're still awaiting for a government to be formed. So in the interim, we still have Honorable Sylvia Jacobs. She's still acting as the Prime Minister of St. Maarten until this, what is famously now called in St. Maarten, the 2x4 coalition. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But the parties who formed a slim majority coalition government, they have submitted a list of candidates to be screened so that they can be sworn in as ministers if they pass the screening. St. Maarten, of course, is different than other independent Caribbean nations. Even though you've won a seat, you still have to go through a screening process, right? So you're not automatically in government. And according to the St. Maarten News Network, they are waiting for someone, it has not been confirmed, for Minister of Finance. And I understand that the delay may be that the leader of one of the coalition parties, that's Honorable Sarah Westcott Williams of the Democratic Party, she has not decided as yet, if I'm not mistaken, from my information and from what SMN News reporting, as far as who should be that candidate for the Minister of Finance. I'm hearing one name in particular, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so, and finally in our news this morning, President of the Dominican Republic says his country will not be dragged into the abyss of Haiti and urged the international community to do more to help deal with the security, political, and economic situation in the French-speaking CARICOM country. I asked the Security Council to redouble efforts to generate these tools and launch an early warning system to enable timely action before the situation turns into crises that are more difficult to solve, the president told the council. He said that the international community should not allow the situation being experienced by Haitians to continue, noting that several measures that the council took into account to deal with the crisis have not been implemented. Speaking at a news conference, the president said, the serious situation in the neighboring country of Haiti has not been addressed with the urgency and vigor that it deserves. The result is that today, much of Haiti's territory is controlled by criminal gangs and is on the verge of civil war, he told reporters, adding that today I want to warn the international community that if it does not intervene immediately, the Dominican Republic will fight with all its force to avoid being dragged into the same abyss as Haiti. Our slogan from today will be either we fight together to save Haiti or we fight alone to protect the Dominican Republic. Haiti and the Dominican Republic share the same island of Hispaniola, the second largest island in the Caribbean. We have so much happening in the world, all across the world, but not only the world. We have so much is happening closer home, you know? Guyana and Venezuela, the situation in Haiti, and just confusion and chaos and depression and sadness and anger and toxic negativity. But things can change around. And with the faith and trust that we have in God, things can change around. But it's just not faith and prayer. We have to put in the work. And the change that we have to be the change that we want to see. To change us around. Me, you, those of you who are listening, we got to be the change. We can complain right now and say, yes, things are bad and the world is in chaos. But it starts with us. It begins with us to be the change we want to see around the world. Have yourselves a blessed day.